Most people go through life seeing only what's right in front of them, and that's exactly why they miss what's really happening. You know that feeling when someone takes advantage of you and you only realize it after it already happened? Yeah, that's about to stop. What Machiavelli figured out 500 years ago will make you look back at your own life and go, "Oh damn, that's exactly what they did to me." You know that person who just never gets played, who always seems to see things coming before everyone else does. You probably thought they were just smarter or more experienced or maybe just lucky. But that's not it. They just learned something most people never bother to learn: how to look at what's actually in front of them instead of what they want to be there. That's it. That's the whole thing. Most of us grew up being told, be kind, be trusting, give people the benefit of the doubt. And look, that's not bad advice, but nobody told us the other half of it. Nobody said, while you're being kind, also pay attention. Because kindness without awareness, it's not a strength, it's just an open door, and eventually the wrong person walks through it. This video is not about being suspicious of everyone, it's about being clear-eyed, warm and clear-eyed at the same time. We'll go through 7 lessons about how people actually behave, why they do what they do, how they protect what they want, and how you can stop being the last one to see it. Each lesson hits a different blind spot. By the end, the way you read people and situations will never be quite the same. Before we begin, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I see clearly. Let's get into it. Number 1, people don't run on principles, they run on interest. Most of us grow up being told that good people do the right thing, and we believe it. We have to, because we want to live in a world where that's true. We want the people around us to be guided by their values, their loyalty, their love for us. We want to believe that when it matters, the people we trust will show up, and then life happens. Think back to a time someone's loyalty just evaporated. Maybe they got a better option, maybe you needed something that cost them a little comfort. Maybe the dynamic shifted and suddenly they weren't as available, as warm, as present as they used to be. And you felt it when you realized the words and the actions didn't match anymore. Here's what actually happened. Their interest changed. That's it. That's the whole story. People don't move through the world on principles. Principles are what we talk about when our interest and the right thing happen to line up. When they don't line up, the principle disappears, quietly, with an excuse attached. I would have helped, but the timing wasn't right. I care about you. I just need to focus on myself right now. You know I'm always here for you. I've just been dealing with a lot. The loyalty language stays, but the behavior tells you exactly where their interest actually is. This is not a reason to hate people. This is a reason to understand people, because once you understand this, you stop being surprised. You stop taking it personally. You stop wondering what you did wrong when someone who claimed to care about you chose their comfort over your need. You didn't do anything wrong. You just believed their words instead of watching their patterns. Here's something even sharper. Interest doesn't always look selfish. Sometimes people genuinely believe they're acting on principle. They've just conveniently developed a principle that happens to align perfectly with what they already wanted to do. The brain is extraordinarily good at constructing moral justifications after the fact. So the person who pulled back on you isn't necessarily lying. They may have actually convinced themselves they had good reasons. That's not comfort. That's just the fuller, more honest picture of how this works, which means the tell isn't whether someone has good explanations. Everyone has good explanations. The tell is the direction the explanations always seem to point. If every single principled decision they make also happens to benefit them and cost you, that pattern is the data, not any individual choice. The real move, the one that protects you, is to stop evaluating people based on what they say and start watching what they protect. Watch what they will never sacrifice, no matter what. Watch what they do the first time it actually costs them something real to show up for you. That's the honest version of who they are. Everything else is just talk. And here's the part nobody talks about. This applies to you too. When was the last time your interest and your stated values pointed in opposite directions? What did you actually do? Most people never ask themselves that question honestly. But the ones who do, the ones willing to look at themselves the same way they look at everyone else, those are the people who actually grow. Because they're not working with a flattering story about themselves, they're working with what's real. And real is always a better place to start from. Number 2, read the image, not the person. The world doesn't respond to what you are, it responds to what it thinks you are. That's uncomfortable, but it's completely true. Think about the people in your life who have real influence, real pull. People listen to them. People trust them without needing much evidence. They walk in and the room adjusts. Now ask yourself why. Is it always because they're the most knowledgeable, the most experienced, the most honest? Not necessarily. What they have is a certain kind of presence. They carry themselves like they know something. They don't fidget. They don't over-explain. They don't apologize for taking up space. And the room believes them. That's intentional. Maybe not always conscious, but intentional. Now flip it, because this is where it gets important for you. This same principle is exactly how people manipulate you. The person who comes in warm, humble, gentle, always the first to admit a flaw, that image drops your guard. You think, this person has nothing to hide. You relax. You trust earlier than you should. You give them access to your plans, your vulnerabilities, your circle. And sometimes that image was completely real, but sometimes it was a presentation, carefully built. Because a warm, harmless image gets you access that aggression or ambition never could. Here's a tell most people miss. Real people have friction. They have off days, contradictions, moments where they're petty or short or just not their best. When someone's presentation is perfectly smooth, no edges, no bad days, always the right response at the right moment, that kind of consistency takes effort. And effort that's sustained always has a purpose behind it. The question isn't whether someone has a polished image. Everyone presents a version of themselves. The question is whether the image and the person are roughly the same thing, or whether one is being carefully managed to keep you from seeing the other. Watch the gap between image and behavior over time. Not in the moments they're trying to impress you. Anyone can be good then. Watch them when there's nothing to gain from keeping up the front. When they're tired, when they didn't know you were watching, when the other person in the room can't do anything for them. Those moments actually tell you something. Don't react immediately, just file it. The picture builds slowly, and the people who see it clearly are the ones who were paying attention from the beginning. One more thing on image. Don't just watch it in other people, audit your own. Most people have a gap between how they present and who they actually are, and they're not always aware of the size of that gap. The goal isn't to perform better. The goal is to shrink the gap. So, your image and your character are roughly the same thing. That kind of alignment is rare, and people can feel it. They may not be able to name why they trust you more than someone technically smoother, but that's why. Consistency between the outside and the inside is one of the most powerful things a person can carry. Number 3, pick a side. Neutrality will cost you. At some point you've been in a situation where two people you care about are in conflict, and you tried to stay neutral. You didn't want to get involved. You told yourself it wasn't your fight. You'd stay in the middle, where it was safe. Here's what you probably noticed. It didn't work, because when you refused to pick a side, neither side fully trusts you. The person who needed your support and didn't get it felt abandoned, even if you never said a word against them. The person who won the conflict looks at you and wonders whether you'd have backed them if things had gone the other way. You tried to protect yourself by staying neutral, but you ended up with no credit from either direction and a quiet reputation for being someone who won't commit when it actually counts. Neutrality feels like protection. It's actually exposure. Here's the logic. When there's a real conflict between two forces, both sides are tracking who stands where. Your silence doesn't read as "I'm staying out of it." It reads as "I can't be counted on," and people don't invest in, confide in, or go to bat for people they can't count on. Now, this doesn't mean recklessly picking fights or pledging loyalty without thinking. That's just impulsiveness in a costume. The lesson is about being deliberate, about where you actually stand, knowing who you're aligned with, knowing why, and when the moment comes, being clear about it. Not performing loyalty, actually showing up. There's another layer most people skip. Some people stay neutral, not out of fear, but out of calculation. They're waiting to see who wins before they commit. They want to end up on the right side without having taken any risk to get there. And here's the thing. The people around them usually see it happening in real time. They track it. And they remember. Later, when that person tries to collect credit or claim loyalty, there's nothing in the account. You can't make